Let's see, should I go with this one or this one? You know what, I'll stick with the Sensei skin for a while. I know a bunch of people probably want me to use that one anyway. You know, I really do wonder what the community has said about her, but at the same time, I'm more than certain it's just going to be a bunch of glorious German engineering memes. Yep, I am not wrong at all. That does not surprise... You know what? No, we're done. No, we're moving on. Moving on. On to the third destroyer of the starters. We're now looking at the Ironblood's very own edition, Z23. You know, I've never actually called her Zed, like many other people have. And now that I think about it, before I even really dive into this, I just want to mention that I haven't really used any Ironblood ships. Could be because maybe the faction name is Edgy AF? No! Thankfully, one of the ones that I have had the time to work with is Z23. Now, with her getting her time in the spotlight, how does she hold up against our own Laffy and Ayanami? Well, let's take a look at the numbers. You know, destroyers are usually known for being weak in firepower, and thus usually have to rely on their barrage and or their torpedoes to really contribute to the fight. But just like Laffy, Z23 looks at this statement and, well... Z23 does reign supreme as the destroyer with the highest firepower of the group. Boasting a high firepower of 104, she really knows how to put in the damage with her gun. Now, she also is capable of equipping CL guns instead of her main DD gun, but honestly I have yet to do so. From what I've noticed, while the CL gun may have better damage per shot, when you consider how many shots are fired from DD guns before a CL gun can actually fully reload and fire, it kind of feels like it evens out. Or maybe even, it might actually get better DPS. I actually have never really fully tested this. So, I guess I haven't really, changed guns outside of using the twin 100mm gun that she normally is stuck around with. Along with her high firepower, she also boasts a really high, for destroyers I should say, health pool that's near the 2k mark. If you were to combine this with repair toolkits, she'd be quite the tanky character, especially since that put her at CL tier health, except with obviously way better evasion. Speaking of which, her evasion is significantly lower than Laffy or Ayanami, but it does still complement her health pool and makes her a lot more dangerous than most DD ships. One major trade-off with Z23 is that her torpedoes aren't really stellar, so she will definitely lose to Ayanami and the other two in that regard. They will help her do some damage to a target, but they definitely are not the major selling point for her overall damage. Her reload is pretty good, but most of the impact it will have is on her torpedoes over her guns anyway. So overall, her stat line is pretty heavily reliant on her guns and how aggressive she can be with them. Her lone skill, Ironblood Vanguard, further boosts her firepower by up to 60%. Unfortunately, just like the other starters, this skill does suffer the same proc rate of 5%. So, honestly, if you're not using the DD gun to kind of take advantage of this as much as you can, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot if you think about it. When retrofitted, she receives the massive boost to her firepower and health. This makes her a lot more dangerous as a frontliner. She also gains her Kai skill, Destruction Mode, which gives her a nasty barrage as well as 2 rotating shields. I mean, the shields aren't really crazy good, as they don't really block every attack. Mostly just auxiliary gunshots from what I've noticed. But the real crazy part of her skill is that her main gun gains a 100% critical rate. So when she hits, it's gonna hurt. So if somebody wanted to know if it's worth retrofitting her, I'd say... yes. I realize now that I've told you to go and retrofit 3 destroyers, also 3 of the most expensive destroyers to go and retrofit. I guess you'll be grinding for those destroyer blueprints, not like you're going to be grinding for anything else at the Oh, right. Carry on. So the last bit to quickly talk about is Mob Clear Fleet or Boss Fleet Vanguard. Z23 follows more to the specialist side of things like Ayanami, but her gunplay makes her more of a DPS character than a DPH character. Honestly, she'll do well on both sides. Her overall gun DPS really works in both scenarios. I usually stick her with my main Mob Clear Fleet, mostly because she makes a nice addition to the Vanguard as it stands. The really nice thing about her CL tier firepower is that she could really easily contribute to a team damage-wise without slowing down them at all. If I really want to have a fun time, I'll bring my destroyer trio into a fight and watch them all do completely ridiculous things. So overall, Z23 is quite the nasty gun-wielding shark boat from the Ironblood. She might not be the strongest torpedo-wise, but she's still more than capable of dishing out pain where she needs to. Get her retrofitted and she'll stand toe-to-toe with the cruisers in your front line. Her gun damage gives her a lot more flexibility with what roles she can fulfill in your fleet. Bottom line, Z23 is definitely worth the time and effort, but just don't expect Sensei to step on you. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Next on the list is Javelin, and I've got several things to say about her. Hope you guys enjoyed and look forward to the next video. I also realized that I should continue to mention that I do have a Discord, so if you're interested, the link will be in the description below. I'm trying to keep track of everyone's requests so that it is possible that I might have missed one. If I did, let me know and I'll get it on the list. And again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys all again very soon.